Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Astrology with your friend Gretchen Heidel, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. I am here tonight. It is February 5th, 2024, and I'm going over This Week in Astrology. There's a lot of astrological energy this week. We have a lot of movement, a lot of important things coming up in This Week in Astrology, and so it's important to watch this because you need to know what's going on. So welcome if you're just joining me live here on Facebook. I'm live every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on my Astrology Updates by Gretchen Heidel page, or I always post the replay as well on YouTube. So if you're just joining me on YouTube, welcome as well. I appreciate you. Go ahead and comment below what your astrological sign is, where you're tuning in from, your sun, your moon, your rising, if you know it. So we have a lot of astrological energy, and it actually started today. We have a planet that was on the move today. There's a lot of planets, a lot of asteroids on the move. So we have a lot of things happening, and then we have the new moon. Then we have Chinese New Year. So welcome everybody. Yes, Andrea, she said yes, she can hear me. That's great. Thank you so much. If you like this, like and share, like and share, like and share. Hey, Joanne, welcome. Taurus from Vermont. Oh, thank you. She said I look awesome. You're awesome. Yeah, so we have a lot of astrological energy. Now, last week we had, we had Imbolc, which was it's the halfway point between the last winter solstice and then the next upcoming spring equinox. So we're almost to spring. We have a few more weeks left of this, a couple, maybe a month or month and a half maybe. Andrea said yes. Aries, Gemini, Cancer in Vermont. Welcome. Hey, Wendy, hello, from Aquarius from Vermont, and it is your birthday, so yay. Happy birthday, Wendy. Everybody want to say hi to you on your birthday. It's not your birthday today, but it was close enough. So happy birthday to Wendy. And yeah, so we have a lot of astrological energy. We had the last quarter lunar cycle on Friday. Anybody feel that in Scorpio? Woo, big feelings. We had that on Friday. And then the beginning of last week, there was a lot of like Uranus and Mars energy going on. And so I was saying it might even feel a little bit like a Mercury retrograde. So I don't know if anybody out there experienced that Mars-Mercury or Mars-Uranus stuff that was going on in the beginning of the week last week, but we did have that beautiful astrological pattern, that energy that was kind of bestowing things upon us, which was pretty cool. Hey, Terry, welcome upstate New York, and it's Terry's birthday tomorrow, so we can wish Terry a happy birthday, Wendy a happy birthday. We got a lot of birthday girls here tonight. Now this week we have, and actually it started today, Mercury actually moved into the astrological sign of Aquarius, and that was today on February 5th, 2024. That happened right after midnight, so 12:10 a.m. Eastern time, so 9:10 p.m. if you're out on the West Coast yesterday. That means we are officially out of the a Capricorn Mercury cycle, because remember, Mercury was in Capricorn for a super duper extra long time because of the retrograde cycle. Mercury was retrograde in December. So now we are moved past that, and we are officially into Mercury and Aquarius. Hey, Melinda, welcome. Vermont, Capricorn sun, Cancer moon, love that. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting. Now, Mercury and Aquarius is kind of an interesting deal. And just so that you guys know, in case if you've never seen your astrological chart or you don't know what your chart is, a lot of times Mercury and the sun moves pretty close to the sun. In fact, it's no more than 1 degree behind or 1 degree in front of the, I said degree, I apologize, 1 sign behind or 1 sign in front of. It's no more than that. In other words, when the sun moves, Mercury, wherever the sun goes, Mercury kind of likes to be around it. So it's one of those things that definitely Mercury is now in Aquarius and the sun's in Aquarius. So eventually Mercury is going to catch up to the sun. It slowed down a bit and it fell behind because of being in the retrograde cycle. So now Mercury is in Aquarius, and Aquarius is all about being innovative, inventive, a bit quirky, different, unique. So anybody out there that has an Aquarius sun may have an Aquarius Mercury. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you know your astrological birth chart, you may actually have that Mercury and Aquarius yourself. And Mercury and Aquarius people are quite, I feel like they're brilliant. They're very quirky. The ones I've met, I don't have Mercury and Aquarius myself, but the ones I've met are really, really intelligent, very quirky, very offbeat. But man, the way their mind thinks, it's like totally on a different level. So a lot of times people misunderstand Mercury and Aquarius people because they're kind of like on a different like plane than we are. I mean, they are quite usually brilliant, very logical, very scientific, or just very inventive or unique or different or something. A lot of Mercury and Aquarius people are scientists or work in some sort of technology job or some kind of thing, but a lot of people have that. They're really, really, really brilliant, sometimes so brilliant that they are misunderstood. I mean, they're just on a whole new plane. But I really feel like this is a very cerebral Mercury. Mercury is how our brain functions, and it is how we speak. It's our dialect, and it's how we sort of process things. So being on this Aquarian plane is like a whole new intellectual cerebral plane that we're on, and it's very heady. Aquarius people in general, but also Mercury in Aquarius tends to be extremely heady. And we're like kind of all on our heads thinking about things. It's an air sign. All the air signs are known for that. Now, Aquarius often is misunderstood even in the fact that it's called the water bearer, but it's not a water sign, it's an air sign. So it's something that it's one of those things that we are going to be on a whole new level and a whole new, sort of wavelength. And again, it is a sign that's often misunderstood. If I remember correctly, Martin Luther King had Mercury in Aquarius, and obviously he was on a whole different plane. I have nicknamed Aquarius the change maker, because a lot of Aquarians, that's kind of what their job is in the zodiac, and their families or their friend group or wherever they're working. They're the change makers. So they're out there sort of changing the world, one little, kind of thing at a time. So that is definitely something that happens with Mercury and Aquarius. So it is very cerebral. It is associated with friendships and groups of people. It's the 11th house. Mercury rules the 11th house. So friendships might be on our mind, and friendships will get very activated around this time. It is interesting that the holiday of Valentine's Day falls on during Aquarius season. And I've talked about this before, how a lot of astrologers think that it was kind of invented sort of on the wrong, or assigned to the wrong day. But really, if you think about it, I remember being in kindergarten, and our assignment was to write everybody in the class a Valentine's note. It's to love everybody, not just to love, one special person. That's kind of more Aquarius, is to love the group, and to have a little bit of a somewhat detached or personal lens to our love. That's a little bit what Aquarians is about. But right now with Mercury in Aquarius, we might hear of some innovative things kind of coming out. A lot of AI, news and different things might be coming available. We might hear about cryptocurrency and all kinds of Aquarius things. That's very Aquarius. Yes, Wendy Martin said, lover of mankind. Exactly. Yes, Ashley Ann said Galentine's Day. Exactly. So, that is the thing with Aquarius, so we're here to change the world, with Mercury and Aquarius. It all gives us, and here's the kind of interesting thing with Aquarius. One of Aquarius's superpower, I say it's a superpower, is their gift of detachment, being able to kind of objectively look at situations, which is why they make great politicians or great head of, sort of setting policy and things like that, because, sometimes you have to take a detached lens and make hard decisions and hard choices, like if it's good for the group, but one or two people don't make it, that's what we have to kind of figure out. And that's what Aquarius is good at doing, kind of detaching from that and saying, well, You know, statistically, we got one or two that's not going to make it, but the rest of the group is going to. And that is a little bit more of a detached way of looking at things. So this can be good for solving problems. If you don't want a lot of emotion sort of involved with it, you can sort of detach a bit and solve problems, sort of taking an objective look at your life. Now, the downside to this is Aquarius is one of the air signs, and I find that a lot of the air signs, but especially Uranus, because Uranus is the planet that can cause problems with anxiety. And so I always say to Aquarians, slow it down, because a lot of Aquarians have a lot of anxiety issues. And so that's something, I don't know if anybody on here has ever had that, but you know, it's definitely a thing that where we have to kind of, it's because we're moving too fast. You know, we're speedy. We're a little bit extra speedy in Aquarius. And so that is something, Wendy said, anxiety is your middle name. Okay, there you go. I always thought the A stood for, you know, achievement. I don't know. So I will say that this can be an anxious thing, but it is, if we have some mindfulness around it, we can slow it down, and then we can be a little less anxious, because anxious is living too far in the future. You know, we're leaning in too quickly. It's like, what about next week? What about tomorrow? What about, you know, tonight? What about, you know, it's like we're moving too fast. We have to slow it down. I always say you're never anxious about when you were 5 years old. You could be depressed when you were 5, but you're not anxious about being 5, you know, because you already did that. Check that off. I was already 5 years old at one point. I'm not worried and stressed about being 5. But you could be depressed about being 5. Depression's associated with the past, and then anxiety is associated with the future. You definitely could be anxious about being, you know, next week, next year, next month. And so that is something that we have to watch. You know, every sign can be prone to, it's not just one thing that denotes anxiety in somebody's chart, but Uranus, which is the ruler of Aquarius, is one of those planets. So it depends if it's interacting with something or whatever, that can be a marker of anxiety. It's not the only marker, but it can be a marker. Yes, and very analytical. Yeah, I was saying that, like, we can look at facts and data and all that kind of stuff. Hey, Almir, welcome. Yeah, so we have that, and it's going to be in Aquarius. So again, it moved into Aquarius last night, 12:10 a.m., just after midnight if you're on the East Coast, United States. And then it's going to last all the way until the 23rd of February. So we have a few weeks of Mercury in Aquarius where we're going to be a little bit more speedy, a little bit more analytical, a little bit more detached, a little bit about friends. You know, it's kind of a fun thing. I like that. And then the other big thing that took place today, I was feeling this one today. I felt this one last night, actually, and today. Mercury formed a conjunction with Pluto. Now, you might remember me talking a lot about a few weekends ago. Mars formed a conjunction with Pluto, and that was on January 20th, okay? That was on that Saturday, and I got a lot of people blowing me up, texting me, what in the heck is going on? You know, there was a lot of tension and sort of underlying aggression and sort of things like that. So what is basically happening is, now that Pluto is in Aquarius, all the planets that are moving through Aquarius are going past Pluto and basically forming a conjunction. So this is the second of 4 planets swinging by Pluto. And I'm going to give you the dates just so, again, if you write them down, some people like to write these down, you will know there is difficulty around these times, because Pluto transits always have a little bit of a dark side. Sometimes it's a little bit, and sometimes there's a lot of a dark side. But that's basically what Pluto transits are doing. So I'm going to give them to you. So we already had one of them, which was the Sun conjunct Pluto. That was January 20th. Now today we had Mercury conjunct Pluto, and that took place, the peak, the height of it, the maximum it was 7:58 a.m. Eastern time, so earlier than that if you're on the West Coast. And literally you might have been feeling this Saturday, Sunday into today on Monday. Then on Valentine's Day, that's a little ouchy. We have Mars conjunct Pluto. That one I'm a little worried about. And then 3 days after Valentine's Day, we have Venus conjunct Pluto. Jeez, okay? So they're all going to be in Aquarius at the time of the conjunction. And so if you are in Aquarius, remember I've talked about this, how Pluto moving into Aquarius is not necessarily a bad thing. And it's a new set of lessons and it's a new kind of deal. But what's a problem here is if you are an Aquarius, obviously this is all in your sign, so you're feeling this. Or if you're Leo, if you're opposite of Aquarius, if you're a Leo, that could also be feeling this as well. Now this whole thing with Mars and Pluto, this could all be a little rough. I'll just say that, especially with Mars and Pluto together. I don't want them together at all. Now, the last time that Mars was in Pluto, which was all the way last year between March and September in 2023, or I'm sorry, that Pluto was in Aquarius from January 23rd all the way until September of 2023, okay? Pluto did not actually formed any conjunctions during that time. So that was a little bit, we had like a nice preview, and it seems so innocent and sort of benign, right? But now all of a sudden we have a lot of interaction with Pluto. Pluto is getting hit with its first major conjunctions while being in Aquarius. So this is different. This is a different, we're getting the full lens here of what this could be like. So with Mercury being conjunct Pluto today, this is sort of dark thoughts. This could be intense conversations. It could be powerful. It could be analytical. It could be direct and driving. I mean, we got a lot of Pluto energy, right? And Pluto is like the deep, dark secrets and crevices and things that are kind of going on behind the scenes. Pluto again is the ruler of Scorpio, and so if you are a Scorpio, if you are an Aquarius, you could definitely be feeling this. Definitely Libras and or definitely Leos, and even Tauruses could be feeling this as well. But everybody has Aquarius somewhere in their astrological chart. So if you're around that 0 to 1 degrees Aquarius, you're going to be really feeling that energy if you have any planets in that energy. And it doesn't have to just be the sun, it could be Venus, Mars, whichever, but you'll be having that energy. So it's powerful. We got a lot of powerful stuff. So this is good in the beginning of the week, this week, if you have to give a sales presentation, or if you have to, kind of do something where you really have to get your ideas across. But the problem is that you might be feeling like you're driving a Prius, but you're really driving a Mack truck when it comes to communication. So you could easily overstate your point, like with Mercury conjunct Pluto, you could easily pound that home too much. And then it's like, it could be a little sharp, a little pointy, overwhelming, and even just downright vicious, when you think about Pluto. Pluto's not a light and fluffy planet, I'll just say that. So if you're enjoying this broadcast, make sure that you like and hit the like button, like and share. If you have any friends, you might want to tag those friends. Because this is important information. There's a lot of astrological energy this week, and I appreciate you guys. So that's what's happening now. Now, next week, as we get into the 14th, and like I said, the 17th, we have Mars conjuncting Pluto, which is aggression, and then Pluto is just sharp and pointy. Oh my goodness, I wouldn't really want those two to be hanging out together, but yet they are. And then we have Venus conjunct Pluto, which makes Valentine's Day all of a sudden, instead of having this cute making little Valentine's cards like I was talking about that I used to have to do in kindergarten, it's making it very sharp. It could be jealousy, it could be obsession, possession. I mean, like when you have Pluto going on, there's a lot of sort of darkness. So I just want you guys to have the heads up, and you can write these dates on the calendar. Are we going to feel it just on that day? No, that's the day it's the strongest, but you better believe the day before that, we'll be feeling it. So did anybody feel this weekend? I'm just curious. I felt it last night. I felt a wave of it come over, and then I even felt it earlier today. So I don't know if anybody else out there felt it, but I felt it. I felt the communication. So that is basically what the deal is. Anyway, as we get into, and Ashley Ann said, am I going to come back to the rest of the week? Ashley Ann, come on, girl. I'm talking about how communication is very pointed right now. And she's like, are you gonna get to the point, girl? Chop chop. I love when astrology proves my point, right in the live broadcast as we're speaking. Wendy said she had a great few days. That's good. Okay, good. That's awesome. Somebody, oh yeah, Ashley Ann said she had anxiety and communication issues today. Rita, you felt it, you said today, but you are lying, girlfriend, because you didn't have internet for the entire day on Saturday. So Mercury, right? If you think about Mercury, is almost like a Mercury retrograde. So where my Rita lives, I like to call her by her first name when I'm on live broadcast. The entire county where she lives, the Comcast went down and they had no internet for an entire 24 hours. So see, when we're talking about communication stuff, this is the thing. This is the pointed deal. And so this is the way Pluto operates, Mercury operates. Mercury could feel like a Mercury retrograde. So it's not just how we communicate, but also it's our electronics, our technology, and things like that. Kathy, oh, hi, Kathy, said communications were miscommunications last week. Right. So that's basically what is happening. So it's a big deal when a planet moves. So we have Mercury moving into Aquarius, and then right when it comes in the front door of Aquarius, boom, it hits Pluto. And that's basically what's happening with all these planets. So as soon as Mars moves into Aquarius, boom, it hits Pluto. As soon as Venus moves into Aquarius, boom, it hits Pluto. So we are encountering all of this stuff in Aquarius. Oh, Andrea, yeah, your brother in California is in California and lost electricity today, right? Yeah, this has been a lot of stuff. Wendy said spent 5 days on tech support. See, you guys were feeling it and you didn't realize until I was bringing up that stuff. Exactly. It could feel like an intense thing with communication, but a breakdown in communication, literally through the lines of communication, like your phone, your internet, all the different things, electricity, and then also our verbal, written, spoken word, right, that we're feeling with a communication. So it's funny, you know. I'm telling you, right when it happens, it's an interesting thing. So, hi Emily, welcome Sagittarius. So now we have 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week. We have 3 days where asteroids are going to be on the move or doing something, and they're boom, 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 all 3 in a row. So I'm going to break it down for you. So on Tuesday, tomorrow, February 6th, we have Pallas Athena moving into Sagittarius. So Pallas Athena has been going through Scorpio all this time, and now it's in Sagittarius. That's going to happen on February 6th, Tuesday, tomorrow at 3:10 a.m. Eastern Time. Again, 12:10 a.m. if you're on the West Coast, or in between, plus or minus. And Pallas Athena is going to be in Sagittarius between tomorrow, February 6th, all the way until May 16th, 2024. So this is a long Pallas Athena time. And so we are looking at, you know, Pallas Athena is the goddess of war, where Mars is the god of war. Pallas Athena is the goddess of war. And so she's considered to be the master chess player. She is considered to be the, strategist of war. She is very, very, very talented at pattern recognition. So being in Sagittarius is a little sharp. You know, Sagittarius is the truth teller. A lot of Sagittarians, will sort of bluntly like say what it is or how it is or whatever the deal is. If anybody out there has any Sagittarius in their chart, as far as planets go, but remember, everybody has Sagittarius somewhere in their chart, okay? And so it's something that is going on behind the scenes. So when we have the archer, because that's Sagittarius, the guy with the archery, he was half man, half horse. He was a centaur, and that is the mythology, it's a little bit of a happy, you have Pallas Athena. Okay, she can be happy in Sagittarius, but also this is very good if you have any legal things that you have to deal with, which can include, it's not like it's not just ugly. When we think of legal, we think of like some ugly thing. It could just be negotiating a lease, or, signing some contracts, or taking care of, a trust or some kind of a thing. That's all legal stuff too. So if you have anything like that, or if you're embroiled in a hardcore legal case, I mean, this could be very good for planning and strategizing. She's very good at that. And so with Sagittarius, we'll want to have some adventures. So we might be planning and strategizing a trip. That's Sagittarius is definitely all about adventuring and traveling. It's international endeavors. I happen to know a few people on here that are dealing with some international things. That is also Sagittarius, and that's very good for planning and strategizing. She's not as aggressive as Mars, Mrs. I call her Mrs. Mars, Pallas Athena. She's not as aggressive, but boy, she's smart. She's a smart cookie. So it's all about planning and strategizing on all the Sagittarius things. So it's academia, higher education, and learning. So if you're thinking about college, or you're thinking about taking an adult night school course, or furthering your education, it's good for that. It's good for marketing and publishing and advertising. This could be very good for strategizing and planning around those things. So if you're thinking of publishing a book, or if you need to work on marketing for your job or whatever, this is good for that. And so these are all good things to work on when we have Pallas Athena in Sagittarius. And so again, that's going to be active from tomorrow, February 6th, all the way until May 16th, 2024. Now, the next thing that's coming, then the next cycle that's starting is on Wednesday, February 7th, and we have Ceres moving into the astrological sign of Capricorn. So Ceres has been in Sagittarius all this time, so now she's moving on to Capricorn. Now, Ceres is the great mother. That's what we call her. She's actually a dwarf planet, just like Pluto. So she has a little bit more weight to her. She's not an asteroid. She's actually a dwarf planet. That's how they classify them. And so Ceres being in Capricorn is, funny enough, also about planning as well, because Capricorn, if you think about it, is, sort of work, and let me think, work. That Ceres is very much, and I'm saying Ceres, Ceres. That happens on Wednesday, February 7th. Okay, Ceres moves into Capricorn, and that's going to be at 6:13 a.m. Eastern time, so 3:13 a.m. if you're on the West Coast. And it's going to also be, until May 15th. So where Pallas Athena was May 16th, Ceres is going to be May 15th. So both of these are like kind of slower, and they're going to be in there for a few months. So when we have Ceres, think about, so a lot of people say to me, I get so overwhelmed with astrology. Think about Ceres being archetypally the mom, right? So what would a Capricorn mom be like? And that's basically what this cycle is like. So what is she? She's like, right? Probably really, she's a mom, and she also works, and she's the president of the PTA, and she's planning all the school trips, and she's right. What kind of a Ceres Capricorn mom would she be? Maybe she's the CEO, right, exactly. Andrea said CEO mom. Yes, exactly. It's a lot of feminine. A lot of the asteroids and the dwarf planets are feminine energy. We have a lot of masculine energy in astrology, and that's why I like talking about the asteroids, because it's much more of a feminine energy. And so we can handle our business when it comes to Ceres in Capricorn. This is about getting down to brass tacks, getting down to business. This one's ruled by Saturn, where Pallas Athena in Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. We have Ceres in Capricorn ruled by Saturn. So this is about getting serious. This mom is serious, okay? And she is not playing around. And and she's got a lot of plan, and she's got a lot of things that she's working on as well. She's the one that appears to have all of everything handled. Now, do Capricorns always have things handled? Heck no. But they don't want to see you let them see let you see them sweat is the kind of saying, you know, around that. They don't want, in other words, to see that there's any crack going on in the foundation and that everything is solid. I have it handled. I have that handled and that handled. But of course, it's a facade. This poor Capricorn mom, I feel like, needs to have a pedicure and to take a nap in the afternoon, and maybe, like, you know, she is a workaholic, and she is very driven, you know, and that's a very driven mom. Now, do the kids get a lot of hugs and kisses necessarily from this mom? Not as much, you know. I mean, this is more about achievement and sort of, you know, checking the boxes. Is everything done? Do I have everything packed for school? And do I do all that? So when we think about how we nurture ourselves, it's almost like we're nurturing ourselves by working overtime. And that doesn't really work, does it? Like, it doesn't actually work. So we need to relax a little bit and actually plan our nurturing for ourselves. So where's Capricorn in your chart? Are you a Capricorn? Do you have planets in Capricorn? And so, like, for example, this is going to be going into my area of health. Capricorn is my area of health. So if that's the case, okay, well, I know that I have to be busy about my health. I have to work on my health. So where is work Capricorn in your chart? And that's where your Ceres energy is going to be. But remember, she's a mom, so she needs to be loving and nurturing while she's doing it too, and not just so wrapped up in the business end of things. Happening on Wednesday. Now, the other thing that's happening on Wednesday is there's a lot of astrological energy. There's 4 planets, 4 transits happening on Wednesday. So I'm going to read them off to you just because I know some people like to write these things down. So we have Venus squaring the north node of the moon, okay? And that's going to affect our love life. We have the sun sextile the north node of the moon. So we have 2 north node of the moon, the sun and Venus. So that could be actually positive. Then we have Venus forming a trine with Uranus. This is all on Wednesday, the 7th. And then we have Mars sextile Neptune again on Wednesday. So that's a weird combination of planets. Whenever this kind of thing happens, the north node of the moon, look, we have 2 planets aspecting the north node. And remember, the north node is where we're supposed to be in this life, where we're headed, what we're going to be doing. It's in Aries. Okay, so if you are in Aries out there, you will be affected by this. Venus square north node, I'm not as, that's a square, yes, but remember the players. Well, Venus is pretty benevolent and pretty benign, and so is the sun. That's usually a positive thing. So I would say we're kind of looking for love, and like, where is this headed? Okay, boo, like, we've been dating for XYZ years or months or whatever. Where is this headed? Where do you see us in 5 years? You know, this is like that kind of thing with Venus and the north node, and even the sun. Well, the sun is a little bit of our ego, okay? So we have the sun involved with that, and so there could be a little an ego kind of thing. But we want to shine brightly with the sun. Think of the sun as solar power. You know, we want to shine brightly. So this could actually help to fire up our goals and our dreams and our aspirations on Wednesday. But then we have Venus also forming a trine with Uranus. Like, that is a little funky because it's like, well, I want something different. I don't even maybe know what I want, but I want something different, unique, unusual, interesting. I want to spice something up. I want to do something different. And that's Venus forming a trine. And then we have Mars forming a sextile with Neptune after that. And that's at 7:20 p.m. on Wednesday. All of this is on Wednesday. When I say it's on Wednesday, remember, that's the peak of it on Wednesday, but we're feeling it on Tuesday or on Monday. We're starting to feel those energies as we come into the landing of Tuesday or Wednesday. Mars forming a sextile with Neptune is a little sleepy. Mars loses energy with Neptune. It's kind of like Mars is like, yeah, let's do it. Well, I'm kind of tired. Maybe I'll sit down. You know, it's like that's the way Mars is whenever it hits Neptune, because Mars is spicy and fiery and Neptune's all that water. So it kind of sizzles out a little bit. So we might, by the end of the day, we might be tired. We might just, like, Wednesday night might be a time to kind of just, or a time to just sort of dream and drift and imagine and, you know, play with watercolors or color, you know, do something fun. That is a dreamy, drifty sort of energy. That's a good one for yoga or meditation or praying or some kind of thing like that. It's not necessarily a real go-getter, you know. With normal Mars energy is usually like fiery, you know, like that thing that's coming on Valentine's Day. Woo, that's gonna be spicy. Okay, Thursday, okay, February 8th, 2024, we have another thing going on with an asteroid now. Vesta is turning direct. So we are really eliminating the retrograde planets here. Remember when I said there's no major asterisks, major retrograde planets between now and April 1st. But there was two minor planets, minor asteroids that have been retrograde. One is Vesta and the other is Juno, okay? Now Vesta's going direct on Thursday. Yeah, so it's 4:42 a.m. Eastern time. Now remember, Vesta is our our safety, our feeling of being secure, safety and security. And so with that thing being retrograde, that was wonky. Okay, I'm just going to say that out loud. It's been in it wasn't Gemini, it wasn't Cancer initially when it first started, the retrograde. The retrograde started all the way back in the beginning of November 3rd. So what were you doing November 3rd or around the beginning of November of this past fall? And you'll know how that will affect you. That was the retrograde time started then. So it's been retrograde all this time. So it's finally going direct. It's going to be direct in Gemini. It started in Cancer and went all the way back into Gemini. It's going to continue to be, it went into Gemini on around the solstice. Okay, so that was on December 21st, 2023. And it will actually stay in Gemini all the way until April 1st. April this year is going to be super busy. So if you're planning things in April, watch out, because there's going to be a Mercury retrograde. There's a major, super big time total solar eclipse that's happening. There's all kinds of things going on in April of this coming year. So Vesta will continue to be in Gemini all that time. And now finally it's no longer going to be retrograde. So I don't like it when Vesta, our safety and security, is sort of retrograde, because God, I mean, that's like, yikes, you know, like security, safety. Okay, those are two big things. And especially if you have this in Gemini in your chart. So we have that going on. So it's no longer going to be retrograde now. The only asteroid that I look at here, that I kind of follow. There's many asteroids in our solar system, but these are the big major ones. Juno is still retrograde. Okay, that's the only one that's still retrograde. She's going to be retrograde all the way until April 22nd. So we have a long time for Juno to kind of be retrograde. You know, she's going to be retrograde this whole time. And she's in Virgo. Juno is our ideal marriage partner, and she's a little bit almost like a Venus retrograde. So she's a little funkalicious, you know, but everything else is direct. So again, it's forward motion. We need to move forward. Whew. So then we have the sun forming a square with Uranus on Thursday. So we're talking about something quirky, different, unusual on Wednesday when we had Venus forming a trine with Uranus. Now the next day on Thursday, we have the sun squaring Uranus. And this can definitely be almost like a Mercury retrograde kind of a thing even on that day. Uranus is earthquakes. It is electricity. It's literally anything that's electrical in the body, seizures, palpitations, migraines. So there's a lot of stuff going on with Uranus lately. There was even an earthquake recently that took place. So I mean, there's a lot of Uranus activity that's going to be taking place almost at 5:46 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday. That's the peak of that one, the sun forming a square with Uranus. But there's a lot of kind of in the middle of the week, a little bit of an unsettled energy, because think about it, you know, even though all of these things are mostly positive, except for that Mercury conjunct Pluto one, but most of these are positive. But think about it like fuzzy bunnies, right? You love fuzzy bunny. Everybody loves fuzzy bunnies. They're so cute, right? But let's say you had 45 fuzzy bunnies in a room and you're the only one. Well, that could be a little Ooh, one or two fuzzy bunnies. Oh, they're so cute. But 45 fuzzy bunnies, it's a lot of fuzzy bunnies. Like all of a sudden that's overwhelming, right? Well, that's kind of the way this week is. It's not bad stuff, and most of it except for that Mercury conjunct Pluto. I'll keep saying that. Mercury conjunct Pluto. That's the only one that's really ouchy. But most of these things are actually quite lovely. They're good. But there's a lot of them. And whenever that happens, it can be a little disconcerting. It's like, is that fuzzy bunny gonna try to jump on me like the bunny from Monty Python, It's a lot of energy. We also have the new moon coming. So the new moon is going to come on Friday. It is going to be at almost 6 p.m. Eastern time, so 5:59 p.m. Eastern time on Friday. That's February 9th, 2024. It is in Aquarius. So we got the sun and the moon in Aquarius lining up. 20 degrees Aquarius. So if you know where 20 degrees anything is in your chart, 20 degrees Aquarius, that is basically what's happening. So if your birthday is around this time, you will be feeling this full moon or new moon, sorry, it'll be right up in your Aquarius zone and your sector. Andrea said, but wait, there's more. That's funny. Yes. Thank you, Wendy. So this is a powerful new moon, a super powerful new moon. Why? Because it's literally a super new moon. That's right. We just had a micro new moon back when that little new moon, full moon was in Leo a couple weeks ago. Now we're getting a big time super new moon in Aquarius, meaning that it's going to be very close to the earth. The tides will be high and we'll be feeling the gravitational pull of that moon. Now, we won't see the moon because it's a new moon. That means it's dark, okay? It's going to be completely dark in the sky, but it doesn't matter. We feel these moons on a big feeling basis, and that's going to be on Friday. And this, whenever we have a new moon like this, a powerful one, again, it's good. But, the ruler of this particular new moon is Uranus. And I just said on Wednesday and Thursday, Uranus is very activated. So there could be a wave of anxiety. I think a lot of people might feel this as an anxious new moon. Now, this new moon is the ruler of the 11th house, which is, again, friendships, groups of people, social situations, who's your tribe, all those things. We might be thinking about that. We want to plant those new seeds during this new moon. The new moon is very powerful in this arena in Aquarius. So what are your goals? What are your aspirations? What are some things you want for the new year? Now, this new moon is associated with Archangel Uriel. Uriel. I love Archangel Uriel. He is, they, them, I should say, Archangel. Yeah, it is more anxiety, Wendy, but, leaning into it, exactly. Leaning into it is something that is very helpful and useful. Oh, thank you, Andrea. You're my first stars tonight. Whoop. There we go. 50 stars from Andrea. Thank you so much. This new moon, yeah, it could be a little anxiety. Remember, anxiety and excitement share the same space. You literally could be on a roller coaster ride or, God forbid, in a car accident and feel very similar energies. One's more of a negative and one's more of a positive, but there's still, when we get a little butterfly, a little tickle, okay, a little excitement, we're about to have some kind of fun thing that we're doing. That's similar. Very similar to anxiety. So what are you excited about? What are you looking forward to? Because remember, when we're looking forward, we're living in the future. That's associated with anxiety. So how can I think about right now? Well, what am I going to eat for dinner? Or what am I going to wear tomorrow to work? Or what am I, bring it way back. Bring it way back where you're living more in the now. What can I do right now? Thank you, Wendy. 50 stars. Yay! We got a star party going on. And this is my beautiful little space clearing bell that I like to ring. So this particular new moon is special. It's powerful. And Archangel Uriel, I thought I brought my Archangel cards and I grabbed the wrong deck. But the Archangel Uriel always is featured like holding some kind of a light a lantern, a lightning bolt, some kind of thing. In paintings, you'll see a lot of Archangel Uriel having a light. And this is to light the way so that we can know what's coming, okay, in our future, again, looking forward. Juliet, thank you. 100 stars. Oh, that was kind of a lame one. Let's see. There we go. That's a nice strong one. 100 stars. Thank you, Juliet. So I love Archangel Uriel. So if you're a little lost right now, you're not sure where to go, you're not sure what to do, you're not sure what your future brings, you're not sure even what you want. Let's say you're feeling a little lost. Ask Archangel Uriel to help light the way, to give you clarity. Okay, if you're in confusion, if you're like lost and muddied, and you don't really know exactly how everything's going to play out or what the steps are or whatever, that's okay. Ask Archangel Uriel to light the way and show you the truth, show you the clarity, show you what you need to know about the situation. That's why I love Archangel Uriel, which is one of my favorite archangels, because it helps, it helps us to get out of that muddied, sometimes when we're in the journey of life, and we're all in some journey, it's not about just the destination, it's about that journey, not to be cliche, but it really is. And so every step we take actually helps us in our journey of life. Every step we take, it helps us to, learn, grow, have wisdom, all the little things that we do in life. There's how many times have you ever been in a really difficult situation, but yet if you think back, it's like, well, I learned this and this and this about myself. I learned that I'm strong. I'm learned that I'm capable. I'm learned that I'm resourceful, whatever thing it is. So everything we go through in life usually has some kind of a deeper meaning or a purpose for us. And so Archangel Uriel, ask that archangel to help you. That is Aquarius's archangel, and that is associated with this particular new moon, which I said is very extra powerful, is a super new moon. Now, this is of course the perfect time to write out your new moon manifestation list. You want to write it just after the peak. So that's going to be close to 6 p.m., 5:59 p.m. Eastern time. So you want to write it right after that on Friday night, okay? And then you fold it up. I always write it as a thank you letter. Thank you for archangels, spirit guides and guardians, God, Buddha, the universe, whoever you pray to. Thank you for bringing me good health. Thank you for providing abundance. Thank you for bringing love and loving relationships that are equal, and whatever thing it is you want. Get descriptive about, not the how. Not that it has to come from this one person or this one, methodology, or I have to have, a raise or promotion. No, you want to say, I am welcoming all forms of abundance, and then you can get credit cards, and you can get student loans, and then you can get, lottery winnings. That can come from any which way, right? And so that's what you want to do. You want to write the things that you want. You want more love, you want respect and admiration, like whatever thing is your thing that you want. Good health, good fortune. Now, obviously, I've been asked this, and I don't know why I'm getting nudged to say this, so I'm just going to say it. Sometimes people put other people on their new moon manifestation. So let's say they want a loved one's health to improve. That's okay. It's like saying a prayer for somebody. I always say, how can you go wrong? There's no wrong saying a prayer for somebody. There's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, if you want so-and-so specific person's health to improve, that's okay to put on the list. But if you want love, like in a relationship, and you're putting that one person on the list, you're dictating how that love comes to you. Let's say that person's not ready yet, or subpar in some way, and can't give you what you want, or, isn't whatever the thing is. And then you're limiting yourself, you're limiting yourself. So I would just put that you welcome all forms of love and abundance, whether it be romantic love or, the love of a friend, or whatever thing it is that you are looking for. And then you want to fold that up, put it under your pillow, and then burn or destroy it on the next full moon, which is going to be coming on February 24th, 2024. And that's going to be another micro full moon. So when the new moon is super, that means the full moon is micro, okay? And then vice versa if they're reversed. So that is that. That is the super new moon in Aquarius, and this is very good for channeling. Aquarius's gift and Uranus gift tends to be channeling. A lot of people get confused about channeling because channeling is the phrase channeling. And I want to talk about channeling. If anybody has any questions about channeling, I think this would be a wonderful kind of dialogue to have. Because remember, when you guys ask a question, sometimes other people have that question too. Wendy asked about the new moon is going to be on February 9th, 2024 at almost 6 p.m. Eastern time. Earlier than that, 3:59 p.m. on the West Coast. Okay, channeling. So channeling, some people channel specific, like if you think of Esther Hicks, right? She's maybe the most famous channel where she channels Abraham. So it's like one being or one person, you know. Sometimes people channel like Mother Mary, or they channel, you know, their deceased whoever. That's a form of a channel. But when I'm talking about channeling, I'm talking about a collective channeling. A channeling meaning that we're able to kind of get claircognizance, which is just knowing something. So channels, people who are channels, like I'm often in channel when I'm talking to you guys, or if I'm in sessions, whatever is I'm meant to say, they give me the words, they like kind of just literally download it. And then people will go, oh my God, my whoever said that exact phrase, and I can't believe you said that. And like, because I'm channeling. So when you're a channel, it is interesting because you can say things and people will tell you that. Like, I can't believe you said exactly that thing, or that was exactly what I needed to hear. That's a form of channeling. Channeling can be also a little confusing because it's almost like having an antenna on the top of your head. And oh my God, was that a radio that I just heard from, in Kansas, like a radio station? That is a channel, a form of channeling. But sometimes you only get, and you'll know if you remember the old time radios where you like take a dial and you go through the radio stations and it's like, and it goes fast. That's kind of can be what it's like too, to be a channel. Like you get a lot of schmutz, you get a lot of static, you get a lot of, so being a clear channel is very important to learn how to pull in those messages with clarity. And then the other phrase that I used is claircognizance. It means you just know. I don't know why I knew, but I just knew. I just knew that this was the thing. That is a form of having that direct sort of communication. Claircognizance is just knowing, but you don't know why you know. And that's a form of a gift and of an ability. It's a type of intuition. People come to me and they'll say, I don't know if I'm intuitive. It's not a matter of if you're intuitive most of the time. It's a matter of how you're intuitive. I used to teach intuition classes before the pandemic. I used to do workshops and things. And a channel and a form of channeling is a way that people have their gifts. The problem with channels is you guys often tend to be very ungrounded. I'm also a channel too, so hashtag looking in the mirror myself. So it's something that we have to kind of make sure that we have our feet on the ground and that we have a good connection to the planet, and that we're, because we're picking up on all kinds of stuff, and sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes it's annoying being a channel because it's like, I don't want to hear all that stuff. I just want to quiet down my mind. Okay. So if anybody has any questions about that, nice. Wendy said she feels like she's channeling a past life when she's writing her book. Exactly. I think that's beautiful. Almir said, I like that, Almir. You said it's like having a direct link with the universe. Oh, I love that. It's beautiful. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It is like it's like you're dialed into that channel, that radio channel. And you're able to do that. So Aquariuses tend to be a sign that is able to be a channel. That is one of the gifts of Aquarius. So we could have an increase of that this week. A lot of downloads, meaning that we get a lot of feelings about things, or a direct, like, I don't know why, but I just knew that this was going to be a thing. You know, that is a form of channeling. Ashley Ann said, yeah, ungrounded. Oh, you affect radios, electronics. Yeah, I mean, that can be definitely a symptom of that for sure. So that can be fun, you know, with this new moon. If you're looking for answers, if you're looking for, again, Archangel Uriel shining the light, opening up the pathway, you know, we are able to get, you know, kind of into our good space of being kind of quiet. You have to kind of be quiet. Amir, you said a good way of getting in meditation. Cleansing of the pineal gland. Yes, that can help. All those types of things can set us up for being a clear channel. Let's just go with the obvious. Stop drinking alcohol and stop doing drugs. That I know a lot of people say that opens me up. It does, yes, but it doesn't create clarity. Doesn't create clarity. In fact, it can increase the confusion that often comes with channeling, because then it's like you don't really even know where the heck any of that's coming from, and that can actually leave you open and vulnerable. So when you're talking about being a clear channel, usually, yeah, meditation, doing yoga, getting connected to Mother Nature, the planet Earth, all those things, getting quiet can be good to hear those messages, because Archangel Uriel are going to be working with around this time to open up and show us the way, show us the truth, shine the light, okay, in so that we can see things very clearly. So I hope that helps everybody. Now, the next day, on February 10th, 2024, we have Mercury again being highlighted, now with a square with Jupiter. It's not a terrible thing for Mercury to be square Jupiter, but it will increase conversation. We will be gift of the gab. We're going to be talking. There's going to be a lot of stuff. And that's going to be on February 10th with Mercury square Jupiter. That's coming at 8:25 a.m. Eastern time is the peak of it. So we'll feel that during this new moon on Friday, and then going into Saturday. Mercury and Jupiter just makes everything bigger. So Mercury can be the gift of the gab. But again, we have a bunch of things this week that could mess with our technology. So again, this could feel a little Mercury retrograde sort of ish. Now, the big thing that's coming on the 10th is actually going to be the Chinese New Year, or otherwise called the Lunar New Year. Now, the Lunar New Year changes every single year, okay? So it's going to be the year of the wood dragon. We're going to be in a dragon year this year, okay, coming up. I am going to be doing a YouTube exclusive video about the Chinese New Year, because if I tried to fit that in during this week in astrology, this would be like a 2 or 3 hour live broadcast. It would be so long. So I'm going to split it up into two. And some point this week, I'm going to be posting the Chinese Lunar New Year. And I'm going to go over all the signs and everything. So if you guys need to know this year and how this will affect you, you might want to go over my YouTube channel and make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, because you'll be looking out for that. It's under Gretchen Heidel, and there's only one Gretchen Heidel on YouTube, so you can find me easily. So this is definitely going to be a Lunar New Year. Now, the Lunar New Year is one of those things that is, it changes every year. So if you are born between January 21st to February 20th, that's when the Lunar New Year takes place. Just so that you know, the Chinese New Year always happens on the second new moon after the winter solstice. So if you look at a calendar and you find the winter solstice, it's the second new moon. So remember, for us, Eastern time in the United States, the new moon is coming at 6 p.m. Friday night, but the new moon is actually technically the next day in Asia. So that's basically what's happening now. We are moving out of the year of the water bunny. Speaking of bunnies, fuzzy bunnies. And this is a very different energy. We're going from rabbits to dragons. Yikes. So this is a very, very big switch and a very big energy dynamic switch. So to be continued and to be posted. Make sure that you, like I said, subscribe to my YouTube, and I'm going to get more in depth. Every year I do a broadcast about the Lunar New Year, or the Chinese New Year, whatever you want to call it. And it's kind of fun. Everybody like usually gets excited about it. Charlie, you are a dragon. Well, you know, it's interesting because in Chinese astrology, they say it's sort of, I hate to use the word bad luck, if it's the year of whatever year you are. If you're a dragon and then this year's a dragon, they say that that's too much dragon. It's like too much energy. Now, I don't know if I totally believe that, but that's what they say. That's according, I am a Western astrologer, but according to Chinese astrology, that's the deal. So yeah. So Ashley Ann said, I wish we were going into the year of the dog much friendlier. Yeah, I mean, unless if you have Puff the Magic Dragon, I don't know, that dragon seems to be kind of chill, but otherwise, if you're looking at like a Game of Thrones dragon, I mean, this could be a spicy year, and it's going to be a spicy year, I think, with a lot of the astrology that's going on. So I hope that helps everybody. If anybody has any questions, you know, Charlie said the last one was amazing. Yeah, I mean, it could be. That's their rule. That's not my rule. But I always say that anything can be too much of a good thing. So it's kind of like, you know, if you have Jupiter on Jupiter or Venus on Venus, yeah, that could be really good. I mean, those things can be very positive. But it could be just too much sometimes, too much dragon type of energy. Although I personally love dragons, and they're part of my kind of like totem, if you will, and I love them. I'm sure I was born, I think I had a past life as a dinosaur or something, because I totally love Godzilla and dragons and all those fun things. I just love them. I almost feel like I'm like remembering, you know. Yeah, people are commenting that they're dragons and stuff. So I'm gonna post on YouTube so you guys will know. So you know, I always do one collective card at the end. What do we all need to know? It doesn't say, oh, okay, Noel, sorry. You said your husband and son's birthday. Can I pick a card for them? Well, that's 2 cards, Noel, and I don't only usually do one for people. So let me I'll just pull one collective. What do you guys need to know? What do you guys need to know? All right, Noel, I'm going to pull one card for what do you need to know about your birthday. I mean, it's birthdays. Oh, well, that's interesting. Okay. You got 2 that fell out anyway, so the universe wanted you to have 2. Okay, sensitivity. One of them's sensitive. The other one needs time management. Sensitivity. Your sensitive feelings are your muse and inspiration for your creativity, okay? And then time management, that one might be for your husband. Place your priorities at the top of your to-do list and don't allow distractions to deter your focus, okay? So those are the cards for your husband and son. Oh no. Sarah, you fractured 2 bones in your foot? No, that's not good. Saturn in Pisces is, I'm telling you, I have done so many, I've been talking so much about people with foot problems, with Saturn in Pisces. A lot of people are having health problems with their feet. Okay, so let me look at Sarah. You look like you really cracked it. It looks like a crack. It's like cracked, like, yikes. Yeah, this is going to be a journey for you, and alone time, and you might have to go to the hospital. There's a lot of stuff here. I'm sorry, honey. You might have, this hospital card might be a surgery or a medical procedure. I'm just saying, this hospital card, but it's saying like you have to be, kind of take it easy. You might be, you know, kind of hobbling around, maybe have a boot or crutches or something, but like it's like kind of like you have to spend time alone, sort of taking care of this. Dennis, yes, it is your birthday. If everybody could. All right, so we had Terry, we had Wendy, and now we have Dennis. Happy birthday. So if you wouldn't mind saying happy birthday to Dennis. Yes, I'm going to pull a card for you. I'm being guided. Let me just see. this deck. What do we need to know for Dennis? I don't know how to say happy birthday in Italian, but bellissimo. I don't know. That was the best I could do. All right, what does Dennis need to know? What does Dennis need to know for his birthday? Oh, honey, great card, Dennis. Happy news. Happy news on a happy birthday. And it's interesting because you're going to have that new moon energy for your birthday too, Dennis, and the Chinese New Year. Your prayers are being answered in a creative way. That's the card. So there you go. That's a great card. Happy birthday. Oh, nice. People are saying I don't know how to pronounce it, so I don't want to butcher the happy birthday in Italian. But yes, that's beautiful. So I hope that helps everybody. All right, so I'm going to pull a card. What do we need to know for the week? A lot of energies. Just to recap, Mercury moved into Aquarius last night and then also formed a conjunction with Pluto today. Then we have Pallas Athena moving into Sagittarius on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we have Ceres moving into Capricorn. Whole new Ceres CEO, Capricorn mom. Then we have Vesta, our planet of, or asteroid of safety and security. That is turning direct. It was retrograde for a super long time, so now it's turning direct, which is great news. We have the super new moon coming, not just a normal new moon, a super new moon in Aquarius coming on Friday. And then we have the Chinese New Year. There's something almost every day. The only day that is really, really low key, and I'm talking really low key, is actually on Sunday, on the 11th. There's really hardly anything, which is probably by then we're going to need a really big break. All right. Let's see. Let us see. What do we need to know? What do we need to know for this week? Oh, beautiful. Okay, I love this. I'm using my Moonology cards, and I'm also going to use my Archangel Uriel card. So let me pull that as well. What do we need to know? Oh, beautiful. Oh my gosh, this is actually perfect. Okay, so the Moonology deck showed, because this is new moons and full moons, this is all the new moons. It's new moon in Cancer. Now, obviously, we're having a new moon. This is just a card that I pulled. We're having a new moon in Aquarius, but new moon in Cancer says you and your loved ones are safe. You and your loved ones are safe. Okay, and that's this card. So, especially when we're talking about that safety security thing with Vesta, I think that could be helpful. And then the other card I pulled is Vision Board. This is Archangel Uriel deck, create a vision board. Create a board with images and words that inspire you. If you haven't created your vision board yet for 2024, this is a good time to do that, is to manifest and think about, okay, all of the beautiful things that you want to pull into your life in 2024. I mean, this is a great time to have vision, it's a great time to have vision about your life and your future. So I hope that these two cards help, okay? New moon, this is all about setting up a beautiful new life with your loved ones, your family. Could be also if you're people that are pursuing real estate, leases, purchases, financing, that you could get a good news and information about that this week as well. And then remembering, where are you? We have the north node of the moon being affected this week. On February 7th, we have Venus forming a square with the north node, but then we have the sun sextiling the north node on Wednesday. And so what do you want for your life? What's your vision of your future? It's exciting. So I hope that helps everybody. And again, if you want to have a personalized astrological session, please feel free to send me a text message is the best way, or a DM through some kind of the social medias is fine. And then probably the last is email. Email for me is really hard. I got so many places I have to look for messages. And if I don't get back to you, just text me immediately. Like, that's the best way, is texting me directly. So yeah, so I hope that helps everybody. Lots of love, lots of good vibes. Okay, we have a lot of really good, wonderful energy this week. It's a lot of energy. There's a lot of fuzzy bunnies in the room, but let's make the most of that. Okay, happy new moon, namaste, and have a great week.